Aloha. It's been a while. I'm Jade Oneness, and I'm here today to just being guided by spirit to share on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I am feeling inspired today to talk about the body and my experience in the human body. And maybe a little bit about false light. So, about a year and a couple months ago, fell out of a tree and broke my rib. And I'm so sensitive. I am a starseed. I'm a being of earth, but I'm also extremely connected to the stars, the cosmos. Sometimes it's takes some effort to really ground into my body and not be so telepathic, or really hone in on how to turn off and on and channel and master my gifts as a starseed. But sometimes I'm so telepathic that it's overwhelming, and I was in a situation with a being, and I was in this tree, this avocado tree, climbing an avo tree, and this being, I felt his consciousness in my body, and it almost like jolted me. And then as soon as I felt like his like consciousness like in my body, it's like I fell out of the tree onto the earth and broke my left rib. And I've done Ho'oponopono, which is forgiveness, so I hold no anger towards this being. And it's just a lesson for me on how to set energetic boundaries and say no to receiving other people's feelings about me to a degree that I feel it directly in my body. That's been a lesson for me, is honoring my energetic boundaries. And so I fell out of this tree onto the earth and broke my left rib. And in the moment I was like, and couldn't move for a second. And then I was like, okay, I'm okay. It was like a very strong pain, but then I was like, I'm good. And little did I know that I really injured myself, like, tremendously, and I ended up breaking my left rib. And it's been a year and almost a year and a half, and I'm still recovering, but I'm doing a lot better. But it was one of the most painful experiences that I've ever been in, because I don't know if you've ever broken a rib, but it's constant pain because you have to breathe and expand and contract the injury because your ribs are covering your lungs. So it doesn't go away. But it was the left side of my body, and so the whole left side of my body, like, I had like a weird injury on my shoulder, and then the rib injury caused like my hip to be weird, and I'm now finally recovering. But yeah, just like the entire left side of my body was like, And for me, my experience is my body is a messenger. My body has always communicated to me where my spirit and emotions is out of alignment. And what I really learned from this experience is that my feminine is not being fully honored, and I feel that this relates to the collective as well. My feminine aspect of slowing down, of taking time to rest, of taking time to consciously breathe and be still without like completely falling asleep, it's like the yin with the little dot of yang, so not completely yin where you're like passed out asleep, but like just really calling in slow deep breathing and presence of stillness, and realizing that I'm allowed to be a victim. Like, I was a victim being a female. There's a part of me that is a victim, and being in victim mentality is never going to empower you, so it's great to move past that and empower yourself and just not identify with it. But for me in my journey, it's important to like first honor like, oh wait, I am like, something is off balance here. And it's the same for all victims in our society, especially people of color, indigenous people. I will never know to the degree that these beings experience being a victim because I'm white. But it's true, and it's really important to honor the undercut, the privilege and the pain. And so from my experience as a woman and just having just feminine energy, how much feminine energy in our society has been ignored, denied, repressed, seen as weak, seen as not valuable, being undervalued. And so this is what I really learned from my injury, is like to really value myself. And feminine energy is so undervalued. Slowness, stillness, and presence is so undervalued. Our society is so obsessed with like, how fast can you go? How much can you get done? But the feminine wisdom is quality over quantity. And this is a lesson that I've really begun to integrate through my experience. And boundaries really has been a big thing for me as a female, energetically and physically, having my boundaries be honored, having people honor me wanting to be in a container of my own energy and not like siphon and suck from my energy when I'm not open to that, especially my body and sexuality, sensuality. It's so natural for women to be, and healthy for women to be in a state of sensuality and sexuality, and I've been traumatized by predatory energy that wants to just see that in like, and so for a while my inner masculine came in to protect myself which I'm so great that I have him, my inner masculine, available to protect me. But he was very like raw and was very protective of me and really angry at other predatory humans for seeing the pure being that is me as an object or a snack. And I think that I know that there's a healthy balance of the feminine feeling empowered and beautiful and sexy, and there's a line. And that line needs to be honored. That boundary needs to be honored. So, yeah. Blessings, just coming on to share that. And another thing that I've experienced in my life is false light and the importance for star seeds, especially if you feel very grounded and you feel a desire to explore spirituality more. Stay grounded to yourself and continue that curiosity and exploration, and you're doing great. If you are a very open channel naturally and you find it hard to be like down on earth, honor your gifts, but also just make sure you stay in the body and don't get too woo-woo smoke and mirrors by gurus and people that claim to be spiritual leaders, because you have the medicine within, and it's great to gather in community with like-minded individuals, but remember that you are the medicine. You have your own gifts, so take what resonates, feel what resonates, and leave the rest. That goes for me as well. Anything that I ever channel, ever say is coming from my own connection to the divine and channeling, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Feel it in your body. It's so important to connect from my channel to your channel, right? If we're all like grounded in our own connection to the divine, then it's so much easier to have clarity on where we are being guided and what we are being guided to do. Ana que hace así, ana que hace así, ana she hace aquí, ana sea. Blessings.